How to move to Spain in 2025. All programs in one video. Hi, Alina here with you, directly from Barcelona. My name is Alina Kabakova and I'm CEO of Dream Life Spain, a relocation company here in Barcelona. And today I want to tell you about all the current pathways to move to Spain. Because if you're thinking about living in Spain, it's really important to understand what actual programs are here and what can you use for yourself and for your legalization. So let's dive in. Before we begin, it's important to understand that in 2025, here in Spain, we have actually kind of 10 legal pathways that everybody uses, okay? So it's really important to understand which program is best for you exactly. So I always said that you need to start from yourself. You need to understand what is your current situation, work, finances, family status. You need to understand which is your goals in Spain. You want to study, you want to work, you want to maybe open a business. And you need to understand time frame, how quickly you want to move to the country. And then, of course, you need to understand your budget, how much you are ready to invest in relocation. Because actually a lot of people, they're thinking about what country will give to me, but they are not thinking about what I will give to the country, what I can invest to the country. Because, you know, we always pay with the currencies, no? With energy, with the time, or with the money. So if you move to a new country, you need to understand that if you want to find a job, you need to have skills. If you want to open a business, you need to have a business idea, business project, and money. And if you want to study, of course, you need money, and you need to find out where you will study. So for every program, you need to have resources. So let's dive in and understand which resources for which program you need. First program, Digital Nomad Visa in Spain. First of all, who is for? Remote workers, freelancers, entrepreneurs working with companies outside of Spain. Key requirements: income of at least 2,700 euro per month. Proof of remote work or contracts. Employer company must have existed more than 1 year. Health insurance, Spanish private health insurance, and criminal record certificate. So if you want to move to Spain as a digital nomad, first of all, you need to have remote work contract. You need to have salary, almost 3,000 euro, and you plan to live here at least 3 years. You can live 1 year, 2 years, but maximum period of obtaining of digital nomad visa is 3 years. So you are coming here to Spain and you can apply, or you can apply from the consulate in your country. And what I like about digital nomad visa, it's really fast to obtain this visa. It's kind of only 3 weeks and you have it. And what I like about this visa too, you don't need to show money on your bank account. So you need to understand that for every visa, actually there are top 3 of the documents for every visa in Spain. First of all, you need to show finances, or maybe you have finances on your bank account, or maybe you have them as a salary. It's one type of documents. Another type of documents, you need to show that you have private insurance, that if something is happening with you, you have insurance to cover, and you need to show that you have non-criminal record certificate. So actually it's kind of top 3 documents for every type of visa. How much costs to move to Spain with digital nomad visa? First of all, if you will pay insurance, it's kind of from 500 euro to 1,000 euro per year. You need to obtain non-criminal certificate. It's for free if it's in your country. You need to show the salary, just your pay slips or salary payments, and you need to pay for the services. For example, in my company, we have the program, it's called Dream Nomad. So if you want to pay only for obtaining the visa, the cost is 1,250. And if you want to pay for premium package, where we will help you with the long-term renting, where we will help you to put your kids to the school, where we will help you, for example, to open a bank account, this program costs 3,000 euro. So you need to choose your program, and you need to gather all the documents, and if you work with us, we will help you. And in 1 month, 2 months, you will get this visa for you and for your family for 3 years. And what is concern about this visa? taxes. You need to understand where you will pay taxes, because you don't have to be in Spain more than 183 days. So maybe you will not be even tax residents in Spain, but you still need to pay taxes to actually prolong your visa after these 3 years, because you want to prolong for 2 more years, to after this obtain permanent permit, to after this in 10 years obtain citizenship of Spain. So it's really important to understand how long you will be here, where you will pay taxes, how this will affect your prolongation of the visa. Next program in Spain, it's called Non-Lucrative, Finance Independent Income. So it's really important for you to have the same amount of money as digital nomad, but as a passive income. So for a different type of visa, you need to understand that for work visa, you need to show that you have work contract. For digital nomad visa, you need to show work remote contract. And for no lucrative visa, for financial independent visa, you need to show that you have passive income. What we are calling passive income. For example, you are renting different apartments in your country and you have payments to your bank account every month. Or for example, you are a business owner and you have dividends every month. Or maybe you are living in UK and you want to move to Spain and you have enough pension every month to come here. So no matter how you obtaining this type of income, but it's have to be passive and it's have to be every month, and it's have to be more than 2,700 euro per month. So if you have this passive income every month, another obligation, you need to show that you have money on your bank account, and you need to prove that you have at least 30,000 euro on your bank account. You don't need to spend them, you just need to show that you have them. So passive income plus money on the bank account, and you can obtain this visa without permit to work for 1 year. And then you can prolong it for 2 years and for 2 years. So I like this visa because it's kind of simple to obtain. You don't need to study, you don't need to work, just show me your income and you can enter to the country. But what a lot of people are doing, they are applying for no lucrativa for this visa from the citizenship country, then they are coming to Spain, and during this 1 year they're searching for job here in Spain. And if they find it, they modify their no lucrative visa to another visa. For example, they are opening business, they are obtaining startup visa. For example, they are finding the job, they modify it to work visa. So this 1 year they are using to change this visa to another one. And it can be like this too. Actually, in the beginning, they were creating this visa for the people who don't want to work. They don't plan to work in Spain. They already have enough money. Maybe they investors, maybe they sell the company, maybe they have pension. So they just want to live here. They just want to spend here their money, but they don't want to work and they don't need the right to work. So that's why this visa exists. And a lot of people who has business there, they are moving here to actually get money from there to spend it here. Because a lot of visas, they're asking for you so much that actually only to show passive income and only to show money on the bank account, it's kind of not so much, you know. And what I like about this, you can move with your family. And I heard some stories that in the families, a lot of people, they decide that father, he will stay in the mother country and he will be there with his business, for example, and family staying in Spain with no lucrative status. And for example, kids, they are going to the school, mom, she just living here, and father, he is making the money and he is as a sponsor working for family, and family with this money living here in Spain. Program number 3, student visa. Everybody know about student visa in Spain, I think, because if you try to Google some program in Spain, everywhere will be student visa, student visa. What I like about student visa in Spain, it's kind of easy to obtain because the list of the documents, it's not so big. You need to show only 8,000 euro on your bank account, and in 1, 2, 3 months you will obtain visa for 1 year. Students are not obligated to pay taxes, so a lot of people, they're coming to study here and they're still working remotely, but they don't want to obtain digital nomad visa because they don't want to pay taxes here. And after education, they modify the student visa in digital nomad, but in a couple of years, so they already kind of, you know, pay less during some period of time, and then they have local education. So after that, what they do, they obtain, for example, digital nomad visa if they find remote work, and if they find work here in Spain, they modify student visa in work visa and work permit here in in the country. So what about student visa? You need to study in high educational institutions. So for example, you are going for master's program or you are going for doctorate, and maybe you are going to study on professional courses. It's possible too. So you need to show that you have insurance, you need to show that you have non-criminal records, you need to show that you have money on your bank account more than 8,000 euro, and you need to show that you enroll in the educational institution. So for example, it's called matricula. You need to show that you enter to this place for study and you pay already for the course, and you need to show and prove that this, for example, university have accreditation. It's really important to have accreditation for any university, for any school where you study, because if this place don't have accreditation, you can obtain through this school, for example, student visa. So it's really important. And you know, a lot of people, they're writing me about student visa and they're saying, I enter to the university and then I don't understand what I need to for the visa, and they decide that I change my mind, I don't want to come, but they don't want to return me money. Guys, it's really important. If you want to study in Spain, don't start only with education. Start with the budget. You need to have budget to show on your bank account. You need to have budget to actually live here 1 year. And you need to have budget to pay for the insurance. So if you have at least 15,000 euro, it can be enough for 1 year. But if you have less, maybe you need to check another type of visas. Because student visa, it's not cheap. And I think a lot of people, they're thinking, oh, education, it costs only 2, 3, 4,000, and that's okay, I can afford it. Yeah, but you need to show money on your bank account, but you need to show that you have insurance for 1 year. And life in Spain, it's cheap, but not so cheap. Okay, so that's why actually they're asking you to show this 8,000, because it's minimum wage, it's minimum amount of money that you need for 1 year. And actually 8,000 per year here in Spain, it means that you will live in small, room, and you need to save to actually go to the restaurant, let's say. Okay, so actually you need to have more. So my concern here, if you have enough money, yes, you need to choose this visa. If you don't have enough money, you don't have enough money to invest in your education, maybe this way it's not for you. But if you choose student visa, first of all, you need to have a budget for that, and then you need to decide where and what you will study. Because I always say, you need to look at relocation as investment. And if you're investing in your education, this education needs to give you return, no? In some time. So I know that a lot of people, for example, paying in Canada or in US 100,000 euro per education, and it's really a lot of money, no? So in Spain, of course, you can pay 20,000 euro per all the course. You can pay 10,000 euro, depend on the program. Education, it's cheaper, but you need to understand how you will use this education after that. Because from one hand, education here is cheaper, but on another hand, you will actually get less salary here too. You know, so you need less investment, but then you will have less return. And it's important to think about this in the beginning. So I always suggest budget, education, and then think how you will prolong your student visa. And another main benefit about student visa that you can work, because you have work permit for 30 hours per week. So actually they are cutting now hours in Spain, so full days will be 37 and a half, and by student visa you can work 30 hours per week. So it's almost all working day, and actually it can be enough for you to study and get some money while you're working. And then it's really important to think that you need to obtain work contract to obtain work visa. So please just don't work as a waiters, for example, in some small restaurant. You can work as a waiters, but you need to say to them, guys, in 1 year I'll finish my education. Will you give me contract for me to modify my visa? And if they will say no, try to find another employee. Program number 4, high qualified professionals. For whom is this program? Professionals with the high qualification and work experience. Key requirements: work contract with a Spanish company, salary from 35,000 euro per year, depends on profession, higher education or minimum 3 years of experience, and of course health insurance. And you can obtain your residency for 1 year, then prolong for 2 years, and then you can have a permanent permit, and then you can obtain nationality. What I like about this visa, you can bring family with you, you can work here in Spain, You can change the company. Maybe first year you work in one company, then you find another one, better one, and you can change the company. And you can be here, work here, and you can modify, for example, for digital nomad in some period of time, for example, if you find a more paid work in another country of Europe, for example. So what I like about this type of visa is that it's work visa, it's work permit in Spain, but you need to understand, you need to find job with the high salary, because average salary in Spain it's kind of 25,000-30,000 euro per year. So if you find a job with the 40,000 per year, it means that you what? High qualified for Spain, yeah, because they actually measure your qualification by your experience, by your education, and by amount of the salary. So it's not 100% that you need to be kind of C-level worker, or you need to be the top manager, or you need to be executive. No, you can work as an engineer, or maybe you will work as a programmer, but you will have this amount of salary. It's already enough for Spain to understand that you are high qualified specialists. And what I like about this visa, actually you can obtain this visa from your country, or you can apply from here, from Spain. And you can modify to high qualified specialist after student visa too. Another type of program here in Spain is startup visa. Startup visa is made for everyone who want to come to Spain and open innovative business project. So you cannot open a coffee shop or maybe hairdressing shop. No, you need to open something really innovative, something really interesting for Spain economy. And it's really important that you need to show that you have some technology, you have some ideas, you have business project, you have maybe the team, and of course you need to show that you have funding, that maybe or you have investors or investments, or maybe you will put your money inside of this project. So it's really important to show that you have at least 40,000-50,000 euro on your bank account. You need to show your business project that were certified by ENISA, and you can bring with you your family or your team. And actually, I really like startup visa because lately, of course, they're kind of a little bit harsh with certification, and I see that not every project is kind of approved. But I actually like that project that got approval, they can actually succeed in Spain. Because in Spain, everybody is kind of buying everything, and everybody like everything innovative. So if you have good idea and if you have certification, it means that it's really easy to find investors, it's really easy to showcase yourself, for example, on some summits or some huge events that they're having here in Spain. And of course, it's really easy to find co-founders, some CTO, some people in your team. So I think that actually start here in Spain with some innovation. It's really cool because in Spain, we don't have as much innovation as we need. And a lot of parts of economy, they're kind of really outdated. So if you will bring some ideas, some energy and some money to the country for sure will open the doors for you. So if you have idea and if you have kind of, let's say, not average business and some special idea and some special project, I'm sure that you need to try to obtain startup visa. Another type of moving to Spain is family reunification. If you are spouse, children or parents of Spanish residents or citizens, you can obtain your tarjeta familiar. You can obtain your residency with reunification. What I like about this type of visa, this type of permit, that now from 20th of May here in Spain, they're saying that you can apply for this visa from your home country or from Spain directly. And they are promising that they will check this visa in 7-8 days, really fast. I don't know if it's true because, sometimes they can promise a lot and then they are not making this true. But I'm actually really kind of hoping for that it will be true. And I'm hoping that they will be fast, because of course, some people, they want to move here, for example, parents, and parents need to be in hospital, for example, or maybe you want to move your kids here and they need to go to the school. So it's really important to kind of obtain all the documents fast. And it's really important to understand that you will be as a sponsor to this your family members, okay? So you need to show that you have insurance, you need to show that you have money, and you need to show that you have a reason, let's say, to move them here. For example, if we are talking about old parents, you need to show that every month you were already supporting them, you were already sending them money, you need to show that you have space where they can live with you, and you need to prove that they kind of need you or they need to be in Spain. For example, maybe you want to treat them with some treatment here in some hospital, and maybe you cannot find this treatment in your home country. Or maybe you're already paying for them everything and you don't want to pay as much, you want to pay for them here, you want to just continue what you did already. So it's important kind of to have the case about the situation, because reunification it's kind of not as easy, and it's always important to see all the family, you know, who is where, who is paying, who is coming, who is here, and base of what you are here, which residency permit you are having now. But it's possible. Okay, and I think this summer, this autumn, Spain will give a lot of reunification permits, because a lot of people are living here already, even with Spanish passports, and they still cannot bring their parents. Because before, I know that in a lot of countries of Latin America, they had this really stupid law. So they said that you need to apply for reunification from, for example, from Spain. And a lot of people, they cannot enter Spain because nobody in the consulate want to give them touristic visa, Schengen visa. So they were kind of, how I can ask for reunification if I cannot enter the country? So now they say, don't worry, you can apply from Spain, you can apply from your home country. And I hope that it will be true and it will be fast. Another type of permit here in Spain is refugee status. You can obtain this status if you are individuals facing persecution or danger in your country. Maybe by political reasons, by religion reasons, by your orientation reasons, whatever reasons you have, you can apply here in Spain for refugee status. It's really important to understand that Spain has to be the first country in the European Union for you to enter. Because if you enter, for example, first in France, you need to ask for this status in France. So it's really important to have direct flight. And then it's really important to ask for this status as fast as you can. So a lot of people, they are flying inside of the country. In airport, they are asking already for this permit, but it will be long. So it's really important to understand that refugee status, it's kind of, it's really long to wait for the first white paper, then it's really long to wait for the tarjeta roja, you know, for the red card. All the process can take 2-3 years. But what is good here, that you are still in legal status when you are waiting, and you can work, and you can actually in fast way obtain the passport. Living here in Spain and working with different types of clients, I see that a lot of people are asking for refugee status if they are coming from Venezuela, from Israel, from Morocco, from Cuba. So it depends what situation you personally have, because it's not only about the war in the country, it's not only about that you have some another political views. You need to have your personal proofs that yes, it's true, you are in danger in your home country. You need to prove, maybe you have some articles from the newspaper, maybe you have some reports from police that they were taking you to the prison for no reason. So you need to prove all the story, all your personal story, that please help me, I cannot live there, please give me the permission to live here. But what I like about refugee status, if you will obtain it in 5 years, you can ask for Spanish nationality. Another interesting program here in Spain to legalize your status is Arraigo. Arraigo is interesting because Spain it's only one country in Europe where you can find this type of program. So hear me out here. The logic is really interesting. You can be illegal here during 2 years or 3 years, and then Spain is giving you the window of happiness, window of possibility that you can apply for legalization. So it's really kind of strange, let's say, but I can understand why they have this program, because we have a lot of people who are coming from all over to be here, and maybe from the beginning they don't understand how much money they need and they didn't obtain the first visa. Or maybe they obtained the first visa, but then they apply for second one, for example, and they got the negation. So they already has life here, but they don't want to leave. And they don't have the documents, so what they do, they just stay. They just stay and they wait 2-3 years to pass, then to have this possibility to legalize their status. Actually, in Spain, they are saying now that every year they are planning to legalize 300,000 people per year. So in 3 years, they plan to give the documents for 1 million of people. It's a huge number, actually. And imagine how many people they have here without papers. So, of course, bureaucracy in Spain is still wild, as in any country of Europe. So, actually, I like that in Spain we have this possibility to obtain finally documents, even if you didn't have them before. And what I like that you can obtain different type of documents because, for example, if you have money on your bank account, you can apply for one type of Arraigo. If you want to study, you can apply for another type of Arraigo. If you have the work contract, you can apply for another type of Arraigo. And if you have some, maybe a Spanish family member, you can obtain another type of Arraigo. So it's not only one type of legalization, it's actually 4 different types. And what I like about this, that kind of everyone can find the way. But it's really important to understand, if you want to come to Spain, and you want to wait for legalization, you need to understand that for this period of time, for 2-3 years, you need to have money to live here. And without documents, the life is kind of more expensive because it's hard to open the bank account, it's hard to put the kids to the school, it's hard to rent the flat, but it's still possible. And policemen, they will not run after you and asking, are you having the documents? No, actually in Spain, everybody is kind of living the same life, no matter that you have the documents or you don't have the documents. So that's why actually it's really common to live without documents, because you will have the same kind of type of life. You still can have the insurance, you still can put your kids to the school, you still hardly but find the flat to live, to rent. So it means that, okay, I'm without documents, but I'm still living here, some not so good life, but still life, okay? And then in 2-3 years, you can apply for legalization and you can apply for Arraigo. And then you kind of start from the scratch. You have legal status, and from this point, again, you have your timeline going to the Spanish nationality, and after obtaining the first Arraigo, you can prolong it, and then in 10 years, you can obtain Spanish passport. So I think Spain is only one country in Europe where you can be illegal, you can legalize, and in the end, you even can obtain Spanish passport. But I know that on video on YouTube, everything sounds really good, always. So I really want to give you one concern. You need to understand that you need to have the reasons for legalizations, okay? So if you want to live here illegal some period of time and then you plan to obtain your documents, you need to have this work contract, or you need to have this money on your bank account, or you need to have this money for education, for example, to go through the Arraigo por la formación. So it's really important for you to understand how in 2-3 years after illegal, let's say, life, you will obtain your legal status. And please, you need to think ahead. Another program for living in Spain, EU certification. If you are a citizen of European Union country, you can live in Spain, but you need to obtain local certificate that you are here and you are here now. Because, you know, inside of the European Union, they don't have borders. So if you will move, for example, from Germany to Belgium or from Belgium to Spain, you will not have stamps in your passport. So nobody will understand that you are here. Of course, you can be here as much as you want and nobody actually check in. But if you want to work here, for example, they will ask 2 documents. They will ask NIE number and they will ask social security number. And this both you cannot obtain if you have only your, for example, German passport. You need to obtain a local document. And local document is called an European Union certificate. You can obtain it for yourself and for your family. And it's kind of easy, but still you need to show some documents. So you need to show that you have EU citizen passport. You need to show proof of financial means. For example, you can show that you have 10,000–12,000 euro or on your bank account. And you need to show health insurance. Depends why you are coming to Spain, you can show different documents. If you don't have here work, you just want to be here, you can show that you have money on your bank account. If you have some job offer, you can show your job contract. And if you plan to study here, you can show matricula. You can show the basis of your life here that you will study. So it's really important to kind of prove the reason why you are here and prove that you have money and prove that you have insurance, local insurance. So for example, if you have insurance in Switzerland, if you have insurance in Lithuania, it's not working here. You need to buy health insurance from private company here in Spain. Okay, and then you are going to police and you will obtain this card in kind of 5 minutes. It's really simple, it's really fast, the process, and you can obtain this for all your family. Okay, but it's really important to have this local document here, and then all your life here is really easy. And last but not least, the Spanish citizenship. If you want to obtain Spanish passport, of course, you have some different ways. So first of all, of course, I need to say about citizens of Latin America or Philippines. If you have here work offer and you will work here during 2 years, you can obtain Spanish passport only in 2 years. So it's not actually about work, of course, because mostly people are coming for work, no, with work visa. But if you plan to open here business, or maybe you will have, I don't know, high qualified visa, still, if you are here legally, if you have here a residency, after 2 years, you can apply for Spanish passport. It's kind of really fast way, okay? Option one. Another option, for example, you have Spanish husband or you have Spanish wife. You can apply for Spanish passport in 1 year. So first of all, we need to find the couple, then we need to register the marriage, and then in 1 year, you can apply. Another option, for example, we have two parents, mom and dad, and they have kids that are born here in Spain. So in 1 year, they can apply for citizenship for the kid. And it's really important that parents, they have to be in legal status. They have to have their work visa or maybe some non-lucrative visa or maybe high qualified visa, whatever permit they have. If they are legally here in Spain, then they have born a baby, then they can apply in 1 year for nationality for the baby. Another way for refugees, in 5 years, they can apply for citizenship. It's another kind of fast way. And for everyone else, you can apply for citizenship here in Spain in 10 years of legal residency. So, for example, you are working here during 10 years, or maybe you are, I don't know, have investment visa from the past, because now we don't have investment visa here in Spain. They cancel all investment program. But in 10 years of your legal residency here in Spain, you can apply for Spanish nationality. And what I like about this, that Spanish passport is actually really strong. It's on third place, you know, on the world rating. And you can move around with Spanish passports. You can work everywhere. You will not ask for any visa, actually, because you can be in States, you can be in Canada, you can be in Australia, for example, with Spanish passport without visa. So I think it's worth to wait, you know. And what I like actually about Spanish passport, that you always kind of will come to the passport, you know. So I know that there are some countries on this planet that you will live forever there and you will never obtain citizenship. So it's not about Spain. Of course, it's not as fast as 5 years, for example, no, but still, you will be here legal, you will not leave the country for a really long period, and in 10 years, yes, you will obtain Spanish passport. So here we are, 10 main programs of moving to Spain in 2025. But I wanna end this video with some suggestion and advices from me personally, okay? Because I work with relocation more than 5 years and I see some patterns and I see some interesting dynamics. So first of all, I want to give you advice that you need to kind of compare different visas for you. Okay, so you need to compare speed of obtaining, cost, complexity of processing, ability to work, for family it's or not, and of course you need to understand if this visa will lead you to the passport, to citizenship, okay? And of course, after that you will say to me, Alina, but how I can choose, because in Spain you have so many programs. Of course, I always said that you need to start from yourself. You need to understand what budget you have, what skills you have, maybe you have some, I don't know, money on your bank account, maybe you have some amazing profession that are required here in Spain. So first of all, you can ask yourself, you know how they say it's not about answers, it's because we don't have right questions, okay? So let's start from the questions. So first of all, do you have remote work and you have salary more than 2,700 euro per month? Yes, you have. So Digital Nomad Visa. Then, do you have ability to start an innovative business and you have more than 40,000 euro on your bank account? Yes, so startup visa. Then, do you want to study? Do you plan to study and you have some budget for education, for example, 10,000 euro or 20,000 euro? You say yes, so student visa can be good for you. Then, do you have passive income? You said yes. So financially independent, non-lucrative is good for you. Then, do you have relative in Spain? Yes, I have relatives in Spain. Okay, family reunification. Then, am I willing to live without documents in Spain during 2-3 years to obtain the chance for legalization? You say yes. So Arraigo then. And the last one, do I have high qualification and experience and I have job offer from Spanish company? Yes, I have. So high qualified specialist. So it's really interesting in Spain because it's not like in US or Canada, you know, they have some programs that are kind of really far from the people. So they have only work or study visas. In Spain, they have a lot of visas, a lot of permits, and actually it's good. You have some choice. But you need to understand that you need to coincide with this choice. You need to be eligible for this type of visa. First of all, you need to understand what you have. Then you need to understand which visas we have here in Spain. And then you need to connect yourself with the right program. And that's it. And my another advice that you always need to think ahead. You need to think what will be with me in 1 year, in 3 years, in 5 years, in 10 years. Okay? So of course it's really hard to predict the future, and believe me, life will make a lot of tricks and life will change a lot of times, and maybe everything what you were planning will be different. But I always think that you need to understand how you will obtain first visa and let's say the second one, at least. Sometimes it's important to make the first jump, but sometimes it's important to continue. Because after 1 year, 2 years in Spain, of course, if you want to return home, it's one scenario. But if you want to stay here, it's another scenario. And you need to have the reasons, you need to have the money, you need to have another qualification to prolong your visa. So it's really important to understand how you will obtain first permit and how you will prolong it. So in my relocation company, Dream Life Spain, we can help you with choosing the right program for you. And we can help you with all the steps that you need to take to build your dream life here in Spain. Because it's not only about programs and papers. It's kind of one part of the question. But another part of the question is your kids, enroll them to the school, it's your finance to put them in the right bank, it's about health insurance, and of course it's about long-term rent or buying the flat, because you know property question here in Spain is a little bit wild. So that's why my company is helping with everything. So you can ask us to obtain only documents, or you can ask us to build all your dream life. We will help with all the steps. And guys, quick reminder, please subscribe to my Instagram and to my channel on YouTube. And of course, here on YouTube, we have another channel of my company. It's called Dream Life Spain. So there you can find information about our programs, about our products, and about stories of our clients, and of course, secrets of relocation. So I will wait for you on my next video and see you soon. Bye bye.